loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves. There's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on. We're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on.
6995 at Carmen's on State Route 93 in Jackson. It's Tuesday, November 2nd. We're looking for widespread frost overnight tonight. Might want to bring in those sensitive flowers. Mostly clear skies with lows dropping to around 28. Then for your Wednesday, mostly sunny, highs again in the upper 40s. For tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, lows dropping to the upper 20s. Thursday, mostly sunny with highs right around 50.
All right, back here in the WKOV studio, and we have some very good news to report. If you just want to know how it all ended in Jackson County, we have got the final unofficial results thanks to the Jackson County Board of Elections and everybody over there who did the work and got these results to us. These are the final unofficial results, and we're going to go first, of course, to the contested races where there, of course, is the most interest. In the city of Jackson, for at-large council, remember 7 people running for 3 spots, and there was a little bit of change from the last time when we reported. The new at-large councilmen, for the new terms at least, are John Ondera, 416 votes. He leads the way. In second place with 343 votes is incumbent Brett Foster, a Republican. And taking the all-important third spot is incumbent Republican Marva Colby with 251 votes. It was very close to that third position, but at least unofficially, Marva Colby has retained her seat. Right behind her, with 233 votes, were Barbie Britton McCathern, an independent candidate, and one of the write-in candidates with 233 votes. You remember the first time around when we did just the early and in-person voting and the absentee voting, that write-in candidate was actually in third place. But he ended up in 5th place. Once again, that write-in candidate is either Ron Queen or David Cribben. In the 6th spot was Dan Call with 216 votes, close behind the two with 233 votes. And then the second write-in candidate had 30 votes. So once again, The three persons elected to at-large council, at least unofficially: John Ondera, Brett Foster, and Marva Colby. All right, and we'll go to school board now for the Jackson City Board of Education. 4 people with 627 votes. Roger Rader, who had been first in our first accounting, fell to second, but he will be a new school board member returning to the school board after a number of years not being on the board. He gets 602 votes, just 25 fewer than Terry Gill. The third person elected is a write-in candidate, and we have every reason to believe that it's John Jackson. 598 votes, his name not on the ballot, but we know that the second write-in candidate, Nathan Mollahan, stopped actively pursuing the election several weeks ago. So we think that the three people elected in the Wilson City Board of Education are Terry Gill, Roger Rader, and John Jackson in that order. Jennifer Ousley Pittman, who was the incumbent, one of the incumbents along with Terry Gill, she was fourth with 449 votes. In fifth place was the other write-in candidate, we believe, Nathan Mollahan, with only 15 votes. All right, for the various township positions that were contested. 7 of the townships had contests. In Bloomfield Township, for the unexpired term of Robert Irvin, you had 5 people running for that unexpired term. The person elected is Richard Irwin with 107 votes. Then Kurt Arthur was second with 74 votes. Basil Ware with 42 votes. Brian Leach with 33, and John Campbell with 7. Excuse me. For the 2 trustee spots, full term, there are the 4 people running for 2 spots. Tim Jones, the incumbent, is the big winner with 191 votes, and he will be joined on the board by Dan Neal, who finished second with 112 votes. Edgar Conger was third with 81 votes. Jerry Logan, fourth with 46 votes. In Franklin Township, the 2 candidates elected, Scott Fraley, 152 votes, and Todd Riggle, 135. They will both be new trustees according to the unofficial results. Aaron Fannin was third with 130 votes. Brian Moore was fourth with 113, and Todd Smith was fifth with 89. In Jackson Township, 3 people running for 2 seats, and the 2 challengers are elected, and the incumbent is third place and appears to not be reelected. Vernon Speakman leads the ticket with 169 votes. His fellow challenger, James Croston, just behind him with 159 votes. The third candidate, who is the incumbent, Fred Powell, with 112 votes. All right, we have other contested races on the township level. I'm going to turn this over to Phil to give you the rest of them. But we have contested races in Madison Township, Milton Township, Scioto, and Washington, and Phil will give you those.
All right. Thanks, Pete. All right, in Madison Township, it looks like we have Greg Potter leading the way with 221 votes, followed by Dennis Evans with 203 votes. In third place was Corey Ruby with 165, and at the rear of the pack, we had Gregory Farrar with 76 votes. In Milton Township, in a three-way race, we actually have a tie for the first place amount of votes, with James F. Hollingshead and Philip Thompson both securing 151 votes. And in third with 58 was Charles Davis. In Scioto Township, in first place with 126 votes was Terry Trish, followed by James S. Leonard Sr., the incumbent, with 117. In third, we had Aaron Lemaster with 97, and Brian Durham in fourth with 86. In Washington Township, again, this is for 2 spots, we had Kenny L. Jones, the challenger, in first place with 85 votes, followed by Jeff Bates with 59, and closely behind in third was Davey Adkins with 55 total votes. Now we'll go ahead and look at the 15th congressional race real quick while we have it up. With about 85,833 votes currently in, Republican candidate Mike Carey is starting to pull away a bit. He has 47,399 votes to the Democrat Allison Russo's 38,434. That's about 55.2% to 44.7%. And we'll go ahead and check one more time on the state of Virginia's gubernatorial race. With almost all the precincts reporting, we have 2,223 precincts out of 2,855 reporting. Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin, who's been in the lead all night, remains in the lead. He has 1,246,500 votes, or 54.2%, to the incumbent Terry McAuliffe's 1,036,170 votes, which is 45.06%. We also have a Libertarian candidate, Princess Blanding, with 15,247 votes, and a write-in candidate with 1,523 votes in that race.
All right. Well, Phil, thank you very much. You've done a great job keeping us up with those two races, the congressional race, 15th district special election. We'll have to wait a while on that to be sure who the winner is. We may not know that before we go off the air here, but we'll certainly follow up on our other media platforms. And, of course, the governor's race in Virginia as well, where Glenn Youngkin seems to have a good lead right now, but it's early. All right, we're going to go over the levies now. We haven't done that. And it appears that all the levies and issues have won. If they haven't, I'll figure that out when I'm reading them, but a quick glance said that they all won. But we'll give you the actual vote totals. Jackson City Fire Levy passed 455 votes for to 255 votes against. That is a 61% support there. The Hamilton Township Fire Levy also passed 49 votes for, 25 votes against. That's 66% support. The Scioto Township levy, I believe that's for cemeteries, that passed 164 votes to 92. That's 64% support. Two tax levies in the village of Oak Hill. The current expenses levy, which is a renewal, passed 171 to 95. That's 64% support. The cemetery levy passed 199 votes for to 69 votes against. That's 74% support. The Washington Township Cemetery levy also passed 86 votes for, 50 against. That's 63% support. The liquor option in Oak Hill, we've been saying a store, but let's be a little bit more specific than that. It is actually the Big O Carryout at 201 North Jackson Street. That's what the liquor option is about. That's the only establishment involved. Only voters in the Oak Hill 2 precinct voted. But the local option for weekday sales for beer and wine passed 128 votes to 50. That's 72% support. A second related option that was for Sunday sales only, it passed not quite with the same majority, 119 votes for and 58 votes against. That's 67% voter support. All right, we're going to go over some of the vote totals for unopposed candidates, because I know people are interested in that as well. In the city of Jackson, Dan Folks received 576 complimentary votes in his bid to be the Jackson City Council president. Dan was appointed to that seat a couple of years ago and is running through the full term this time. John T. Evans, the treasurer, incumbent treasurer, received 495 complimentary votes. Both of those gentlemen are Republicans. For Ward Council, J. Ryan Peters, First Ward Councilman, 154 complimentary votes. Harold Newkirk, Second Ward Councilman, 84 complimentary votes. Deborah Biggs, Third Ward Councilman, 50 complimentary votes. And Pete Bopp, the write-in candidate for Fourth Ward, 17 complimentary votes. In the city of Wellston, David McWilliams, 520 complimentary votes as the council president. Peg Barber, the Republican treasurer, 502 complimentary votes. For council at large, 3 people running, all unopposed. Running as a group, Teresa Pond Lemaster leads the ticket, a nice showing for her, 435 complimentary votes, 329 for the incumbent Roby Browning, and 219 for the incumbent Frederick Doobie. Ward 1 Councilman Angela Spanger, the Republican nominee, 147 complimentary votes. Wayne Cosper for 2nd Ward, 87 votes. Remember, Wayne Cosper resigned earlier in the year, but not soon enough for his name not to be on the ballot. Maddie Vance, Madison Maddie Vance, has already been appointed to fill his unexpired term, which runs through this year. I'm guessing, although I don't know, that she's probably going to have to be reappointed for the new term because it was actually Cosper who was elected. And that will be an action that would have to be taken, I assume, by the Republican caucus for the city of Wellston. Third Ward Councilman Rick Hudson had 75 complimentary votes, and Anthony Brenner for Fourth Ward, 123 votes. And that's another situation where you have the wrong name on the ballot. Anthony Brenner, as folks in Wellston know, he's now the service director. He used to be the Fourth Ward Councilman, but once again, his name was not removed in time for the ballot before it was printed. And the current fourth ward councilman is Lindley Carey. And once again, my presumption is that she will serve through the unexpired term because she was already appointed to do that. She will probably have to be reappointed for the full term. That's my guess. But anyway, Lindley Carey is the fourth ward councilman, not Anthony Brenner. In the village of Colton, Jim Milliken, as a write-in candidate, picked up 8 votes. In the village of Oak Hill, for councilman, the unopposed people were incumbent Jody Falk, 177 votes, incumbent Terry McCain, 147 votes, incumbent Jennifer Hughes, 119 votes, and challenger Brian Trotter, 94 votes. On the trustee level, the incumbents who were, or rather the folks who were elected without opposition, we're going to turn that back over to Phil now. Phil, if you could read the ones that we haven't read yet who were unopposed, let people know who's going to be their township trustee.
Okay. In Cole Township, we had Bob Davis and Shane Smith. Bob Davis with 81 votes, Shane Smith with 78. In Hamilton Township, we had Dale Cox with 36 votes and Delmar Reed with 63. In Jefferson Township, we had Brett Shipman with 199 and Dwight Woods with 164. In Liberty Township, we had Kevin Meredith with 128 votes and Bill Rafferty with 101 votes. For Township Trustee in Lick Township, we had Sean Sexton with 155 votes and Steve Willis with 146. And we'll go ahead and go over these Educational Service Center votes. I don't know that Pete has listed these off yet or not. For the Educational Service Center in Gallia Vinton, Carol Porter was running unopposed. She got 2 complimentary votes. For Educational Service Center in Ross and Pike counties, we had a total of 2 people seeking election. So we had Jan Leith with 9 complimentary votes and Timothy R. Williams with 11. For the Educational Service Center for South Central Ohio, we had write-in candidate Lyle Dill. He received a total of 63 write-in votes. And then for the Eastern Local School District, a total of 3 candidates running for 3 spots. We had Mike Atkins with 8 complimentary votes, Brad Babst with 11 complimentary votes, and Mike Rowe also with 11 complimentary votes.
All right. Well, Phil, thank you very much. I think that we've run down all the candidates and levies in Jackson County. We're still waiting on the votes from Vinton County. We're going to hang in there along with Jeff Thacker up there at the scene to get those. We'll be back on the air at 10 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have them by then. But in a bid to give you as complete election coverage as possible, we do want to add that the Northview Elementary Student Council had their election today, and 4th grader Oliver Milliken was elected as the student council president. Congratulations to Oliver Milliken. All right, we will we'll hold on here because the phone is ringing. This may be Jeff Thacker. We'll see. Okay. All right. Just like on cue, Jeff Thacker is ready to give us the final report from Vinton County, and we believe we're going to get everything right now, folks. So hang on.
Back at Vinton County Community Building with 20 precincts in, we're ready to give you the final results for the evening. For representation to Congress 15th District, Mike Carey with 1,872 votes and Allison Russo with 601. For member of council, Village of Hamden, vote for 4, Boyer with 71, Beabout with 91, Claire with 80, Phyllis Henry with 82, Dale McManus with 71. For council, Village of MacArthur, David Gill with 219, Brad McNally with 217, Juanita McNichol with 218. For Village Council of Wilkesville, nothing there. For member of Village Council Zalaski, Nora Brooks with 55, Nathan Brome with 34, Tassa Brome with 35, and Carrie McManus with 54. For Board of Trustees, Public Affairs, Village of MacArthur, nothing. Trustee Township of Brown, Floyd Largent with 35, Daniel Sheets with 42, Marion Thompson with 24. Township Trustees, Township of Clinton, Lawrence McCorder with 250, Charles Snavely with 161. Trustees, Township of Eagle, Jeff Elkins with 31. Jack Vanover Jr. with 105. Township Trustees, Township of Eagle, James Anders with 45. Roger Channel with 49. Township Trustees, Township of Elk, Delbert Fulton with 367. Donald Hamilton with 327. Township Trustees, Township of Elk, for the 12/31/23 term, Audra Wright with 404 votes. Trustees, Township of Harrison, Wesley Davidson with 105. Joshua Wells with 124. Township Trustees, Township of Jackson, Ray Seitz Jr., 88. Brett Sowers, 72. Trustees, Township of Knox, Bradley Carter with 82. Stuart Hall Jr. with 89. William Morris with 97. Township Trustee, Township of Madison, William Bartow with 111. Dwayne Mollahan with 118. Township Trustees, Township of Richland, Travis Fott with 190. Wilford Tom Stevens with 108. Township Trustees, Township of Richland, Glendon Low with 177. Township Trustees, Township of Swan, Rick Martin with 106. Randall Trainer with 129. Trustees, Township of Vinton, Glenn Barnes, 81. Mike Malone with 57. Township Trustees, Township of Wilkesville, John Adams with 109. Roger E. Wells with 108. Fiscal Officer, Township of Eagle, Sharon Davison with 70 votes. Member of Governing Board, Education Service Center at Large, Athens Megs, John DePoy with 10 votes. Member of Governing Board of Educational Service Center, Gallia-Vinton County District, Brandy Don Betts, 492 votes. Member of Governing Board of Educational Service Center, Gallia-Vinton County District 2, Carol Porter with 640 votes. Member of Board of Education, Logan Hocking School District, 1 vote for Catherine Kane Holloway. For Member of Board of Education, Vinton County, Laura Martin with 1,190, Scarlett Newton with 858, Scott Phelps with 827, and Cindy Strasbaugh with 1,560 votes. Member of Board of Education, Alexander J. Barnes with 8, Josh Collins with 11, Fred Davis with 7, Aaron Ramsey with 10. Tax levy renewal, senior citizens, Vinton County. For the levy, 1,818. Against the levy, 687. Replacement 1 mil health program, Vinton County. For the levy, 1,549. Against the levy, 937. Tax levy renewal, corporate extension service fund, Vinton County. For the tax levy, 1,674. Against the tax levy, 838. A proposed tax levy renewal, 3 mills disability, Vinton County. For the levy, 1,634. Against the levy, 857. Proposed tax levy renewal, 1 mill health services, Vinton County. For the levy, 1,306. Against the levy, 1,112. Tax renewal, 6 mills for police, Village of Hamden. For the levy, 90. Against the levy, 55. Proposed tax levy replacement and increase, 3 mills for fire, Village of Hamden. For the levy, 102. Against the levy, 42. Proposed ordinance initiative by petition, sensible marijuana ordinance, Village of MacArthur. For the levy, 147. Against the levy, 183. Proposed tax levy additional 1 mil cemeteries, Township of Clinton. For the levy, 209. Against the levy, 110. Proposed tax levy 0.5 mil fire and EMS, Township of Clinton. For the levy, 212. Against the levy, 107. Proposed tax levy renewal, 2 mills construction, Township of Knox. For the levy, 124. against the levy 35. Proposed tax levy renewal 1 mil cemeteries, Township of Madison, for the levy 108, against the levy 39. Proposed tax levy renewal of 0.5 mils for cemetery in Township of Swan, for the levy 109, against the levy 85. Proposed tax levy renewal 1 mil construction Township of Vinton, for the levy 84, against the levy 22. Proposed tax levy replacement and increase 1 mil for garbage Township of Vinton, for the levy 79, against the levy 27. Proposed tax levy replacement and decrease 0.5 mils garbage Township of Wilkesville, for the levy 130, against the levy 24. That is all we have. It looks like we had about, I was going to try to give you voter turnout, less than 30% in Vinton County this evening. So that's all we have from the community building here in MacArthur. We'll send it back to the station.
Jeff Thacker, who is our correspondent in Vinton County, as he patiently awaited the results to come in, and when he did have a report, it was everything. So we certainly thank him. Our own Red Thompson up there covering the newspaper. He'll be coming back with some extra information, I'm sure, in addition to the results. So we appreciate his efforts. But in Jackson County, of course, just prior to Jeff going on the air, we repeated all the results of the contested and uncontested races in Jackson County. And we're going to summarize the winners in the contested races real quickly one more time. In the city of Jackson, there was 7 at-large council candidates for those 3 positions. And the winners in order are John Ondera, Brett Foster, and Marva Colby. In the school board races in both Jackson and Wellston, in those 2 school districts, there were contested races. Seats. The winners were Terry Gill, Roger Rader, and John Jackson. And John Jackson, once again, a write-in candidate in that order. Then for in the township level, there were contested races in 7 of the 12 townships, and the winners there were in Bloomfield Township for the unexpired term. The winner was Richard Irwin. For the 2 trustee spots full term, the winners were incumbent Tim Jones and Dan Neal. In Franklin Township, 5 candidates running for 2 full term seats. The two winners were Scott Fraley, and let's get the right sheet here. The winners were Scott Fraley and Todd Riggle were the 2 winners there. In Jackson Township, the 2 winners were Vernon Speakman and James Croston. And then in Madison Township, the 2 winners were Dennis Evans and Greg Potter. And in Milton Township, the winners were James Hollingshead and Philip Thompson. The winners in Scioto Township were Terry Trish and James Leonard Sr. And the winners in Washington Township, the trustee spots, were Jeff Bates and Davey Atkins. So that kind of wraps it up here in Jackson County. We just heard the reports from Vinton County. We will have results posted on the Telegram website and Facebook just a little bit later, and also the results from Vinton County as well. So we want to thank everybody who had a part in our election coverage. We certainly appreciate the total media ownership and management for supporting us doing this. I want to personally thank Associate Editor Phil Buffington for hanging in there with me. It's always a long day when we do the election. And James Hamilton over there with the headphones on. You don't see him, but he is the master manipulator, making it all work. Graphics and pictures have high production values, folks. Erica Euler over here, who has so much experience. We appreciate her taking time from her busy schedule to help us out. And, of course, Jeff Thacker in Vinton County. He's been doing it as long as I can remember. He's old reliable up there. We appreciate him as well. And, of course, our own Red Thompson on the newspaper side. So, once again, for all these folks, and especially to our listeners, we thank you for being with us tonight. You've been listening to Live Election Returns on WKOV 96.7 FM and the Telegram Facebook page. Good evening, and once again, thank you to everybody.
Mix 96 FM. WKOV FM. Oak Hill.